Hey everyone, and welcome back. I know it's been quite some time since my last video, but life has just been kind of lifing. So I just wanted to take a second, kind of tell you what I've been up to, show you some of my goodies, and then I thought for today, what I would do is we would go through and do a tarot reading together, and I would kind of show you a little bit about what I've been trying to incorporate into my personal practice when it comes to tarot and divination and those types of things. So, last time we talked, I think I briefly touched base on how I was going to be going on vacation shortly. So, vacation has come and gone, and it was fantastic. So, we went up to Niagara Falls up in New York. We were on the state side, we did not go into Canada. And let me tell you, just the drive up, once we kind of got up past some of like the southern states, like from Virginia up-ish, I would say, the scenery is just breathtaking. I don't know. We stopped at one rest area I want to say it was in Pennsylvania, and you wouldn't even know that it was there. So you pulled off onto the side of the road, and we were like, okay, well, there's the river, in the middle of the mountains, and we're like, oh, okay, just some pretty scenery. And we're standing there, looking around, trying to find where the actual bathroom was, potty break, long drive. And we heard like people, like, and it sounded like they were down in the water. Well, come to find out, at this particular rest area, they had steps that you could walk down, and at the end of the steps there was like some, I call them jetties, but big rocks are part of the mountain side, and you could walk down those to go into the shore of the or the bank of the river, and so you had access. You could walk into the river if you wanted to. You could continue to walk down, and things like that. And so one of the first things that I noticed when we first got there, um, and it was almost like the sun was shining on it and it was calling my name, was this lovely guy here. And so this is my little river stone rock, my souvenir from vacation. um, and it was one of those things where I seen it, like it was like spotlight on it, and I was like, do I really need this? I picked it up, held it in my hands, and I was like, ooh, I really like this. But I was like, no, 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 I don't need it. So I sat it back down. And then, put my feet in the water, kind of enjoyed that moment. And then the rock just kept calling out to me. So I wind up asking permission, and here we are. Lo and behold, I brought this bad boy home with me. And then continuing on onto vacation, we got up to New York where we were supposed to be, kind of went around, went to Niagara Falls, which was also breathtaking, very beautiful, very surreal, just to see that. Just the scenery up in that area in general is just beautiful. Where I live, there's only man-made hills, so it's very flat land. We have forests and things like that, but nothing, no hills, no mountains, no like natural, untouched beauty, I guess you can say. And so we went to another area, which would be considered their local beach in the area that we were staying. And again, kind of got drawn to another lovely piece that I'm adding to my collection. So this stone here. And again, kind of the same concept. It was the first thing I seen. It called out to me before I was even down that final step into going down onto what they call their beach. And I'll put pictures on the slide so that way you guys can see the areas that I'm talking about as well for reference. But again, same kind of concept, like it called out to me. I asked permission, and here we are. Lo and behold, I now have this one and this one. And yeah, so my favorite thing, that was going around, that I was saying, was "Tell me you're a witch without telling me you're a witch." And it was, I went on vacation and brought home rocks. um, Now I did get one other quote unquote souvenir what have you. I feel like all my souvenirs from vacation are totally witchy. So we went into a local thrift shop, and I found this really cute, like bronze little cup talus bowl thing. I'm not going to tilt it sideways right now because I do have some rock salt in it, but it goes in, and it was only like $1 at the thrift store. And so those are like my three big souvenirs that I brought home with me from vacation, which I thought was freaking fantastic. Like I said, I'll post pictures. And if you're following me on Instagram, you probably have already seen some of these photos as well, whether I was posting them in my story when we were up there or the posts that I put a little while after getting back. That is just kind of there if you guys want to scroll through all those that are there. On top of going on vacation, coming back to the real world, I know that I briefly talked about making like a Florida water spray as well. That I was going to be taking up there, which I did. I took a small bottle up to my friends as well. So let me grab that so that way I can show you what it looks like. So typically when you're making any type of like Florida type water sprays, or whether you want to call it a smudge spray or a cleansing spray, or what have you, kind of people use those names interchangeably, but most people know it as Florida water. And I did it with doing basically a DIY essential oil. So with my essential oils, what I did is I used avocado oil as a base because it's what I had available to me. And I put lavender, some white sage, and then I put a basil leaf in there as well to let it soak, let it do what it was supposed to do. Now, whenever you're following any type of recipe per se, again, to make your own sprays, it always says to put just a couple drops of your essential oil. Now, when you do the essential oil like I did, it's not as potent. It can be very dilute. So since I was making such a large batch, and my jar was pretty small that I used to make my oils, I took a mason jar and actually put, after straining out the actual like chunky parts of the herbs, I strained the oil into a mason jar. And then I had some rose moon water that I had made previously. And then, so again, I took that and I strained out the actual rose petals to mix the essential oil and the moon rose water together into that mason jar. And also, what I did to add in some ingredients to it as well, I added some cinnamon and some nutmeg in there as well. And so for my spray bottle, and again, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen it. I put mine in this cute little spray bottle here. And I do keep it in the cabinet protected from light. And then but traditionally, like you want to get like an amber bottle or something. And the spray bottle can be small, big, depending on what you use it for. But you always want to protect it from light. So mine is kept in a small, dark cubby. And again, if you follow me on the Insta, then you know that I spray that on myself daily. That's part of my daily routine. You know, don't necessarily always get to sit down and have a daily practice or do tarot every day or, thank your patrons or what have you. So incorporating something that small into your daily life can be part of a daily practice. The only thing I would say with my spray that I would do differently is next time put actual cinnamon sticks in it, because it did take me quite a bit when I was mixing up and straining. It left kind of like a frothy foam at the top, like the fresh herb, or not fresh herbs, I'm sorry, but the like the fresh cinnamon or whatever, sprinkling onto it. So that's the only downfall. But with anything, it's trial and error when you're learning. And this is definitely something that I will continue to do. And I wanted to show you guys as well. So I also got two of these little vases here. and they're super, super tiny, but super cute. I found those at my local Goodwill. I want to say probably about 2, 3 weeks ago as well. It was after getting back from vacation, and I just couldn't turn them up. And they suit my practice and what I'm doing currently. So super exciting stuff. I'm always one to say, people will say bougie on a budget. I definitely say witchy on a budget, just because supplies can be expensive. So you kind of have to use what's available to you. Like I said, I thrifted $1 for something I use almost, I don't want to say almost daily, but every time I'm doing something now since I got this, I've been using it. $1.99 for 2 of these. I even bought a 8-pound bag of rock salt from Walmart that was on sale for $2. $2. And traditionally, like, the bag says that it's made for making ice cream. And if you've ever made homemade ice cream, you have your rock, or not your rock, but you have your salt that you put over top of ice, so that way the ice gets smaller and then you shake it up. So when you have the big chunky rock salt, it makes the ice get colder faster, so that way when you're shaking, you can make your ice cream better. Not ruinously better, but maybe faster. But it's the same concept, it's the same type of salt. And again, an 8-pound bag will last me a lifetime for $2. I couldn't turn it down. I know that there's a big, huge debate going around right now, on the internet, whether you're on Facebook pages, you're listening to different podcasts, or even listening and watching other videos, reading books, or what have you, however you get your information and your sources. There is a big debate on where people are supposed to be getting their ingredients and what you're supposed to be doing. If you don't grow it yourself, you can't use it. Or, you have to make sure that you're getting it sourced from this company, from these people. People will look down and frown upon you for, going to the Dollar Tree and buying a pillar candle. Or, like, for instance, for me, buying a $2 bag of salt. And I wanted to let you know that no matter where you're at in your practice, I mean, witchy on a budget, like, I'm going to be the person to preach that to you, because you have to use what's available to you in anything that you're doing with your practice. So just keep that in mind. And then if anybody has anything to say negative to you against that, simply hit them with you believe what you believe, I believe what I believe, and let's keep moving forward. And that's kind of the best way to handle those types of situations, because it drives me crazy seeing people, like, tell another person they're doing something wrong because they got their supplies from the dollar store or from a hand-me-down store or what have you. So just, again, that's my little rant on that. Just keep that in mind, and keep being witchy on a budget kind of thing. So that's my little rant about vacation and ranting about being on a budget and those types of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause the video for just a moment. I'm going to set up for the tarot that I want to do to kind of show you guys what I've been doing. And I'm going to walk you through those steps on what I've been doing, what I have, walk you through the breathing exercise I've been doing, and then we will pull one card live, and we will go from there. Well, live, because obviously this is a recording, but I have not, like, my card deck is closed right now. So I have to set everything up, and this will be the first time that I'm doing something like this with you guys. So I'm super excited. So yeah, just enjoy, I hope. And I'll see you in just a moment. Alrighty, so I got everything set up. We got our tarot deck out. We're trying out a new camera angle and a new mic. And let's get moving forward and see how we can make this work today. And so what I kind of want to do is kind of talk you through what I've been trying to do and to incorporate more kind of breathing. And I have chosen some words and intention for our card pull today. Okay, So, what I always like to do is start with some deep breaths, even prior to lighting my candle or saying my intention. So, I will typically sit with my back straight up and take a deep breath in and release. And then I'll take another breath in, close my eyes, and out. Always remember to use fire safety when lighting any candles or incense or anything that you may be using. And so what I did was I lit my little tea candle that has some pre-made crushed up mugwort on it to help keep out any unwanted things, whether it's spirits, ghosts, entities, or what have you. So that way only those that I am seeking to come in and inviting in or who need to be here for said intentions comes in. And I always try to the best of my abilities to make sure that my candle does not go out. Sometimes it can, just because of where you're at, and airflow of the room. And at this point, I continue to take another deep breath and out, straightening the back, and again in and out. And by earth and air, fire and water, so shall you hear my call, powers of birth and rebirth, powers of silence and peace, heal my body and my mind. And so now you have your eyes closed, you're taking deep breaths, and you're feeling the energy fill the room. We'll shuffle your deck. And while shuffling the deck, I'll ask it and set the intentions. And our intentions for this tarot deck pull today are: what am I bringing into my life right now? And then I'll hold the deck there for a little bit, put my hand, kind of feel the energy, take a moment of silence, and then I will pull a singular card out here, flip our card over, and again, our intention is: what am I bringing into my life right now? And we got the Seven of Candles, and candle cards for those who practice a more traditional type tarot are going to be your wand cards. After taking that second to breathe in some deep breaths, take in how the card feels. Upright. Seven of Candles shows you might soon be entering into competition. If someone is trying to get between you and your goals, hold your ground. This isn't the time to accuse, or let your guard down. Know what you want and work hard to get it. Now, as I am still learning this deck, I do still read the description in the guide deck book, as I just read aloud to you. And then I take a second, continue to take some deep breaths, take in how the card made me feel, how that paragraph made me feel, think about what may be going on in my life right now, and I continue to breathe and continue to take in that feeling. I start to reach out to those who may have entered my space, those who may be calling out or have an idea or question or anything that they want to put in my path. And again, you continue to take deep breaths, straighten your back. Now, this time frame differs for everybody. You can sit for 1 to 2 minutes. Some people will sit for 15, 20. It just kind of depends. This is kind of that time to get into a meditative state if you would like, especially if you're working on more of a shadow work type thing. For purposes of this video, I am not going to take as long as I normally do. Again, I will normally sit, and I will sit as long as the cards ask me to. But again, for this video, we are not going to take that long. Reason being for not taking as long as I normally would is just because, like I said, I do sit for as long as the cards allow, and I do not want to make this video longer than what it already is if this is not a card that is pulling to you. So again, the intention or the question that I had asked the deck for you as the viewers and for me as myself was what is coming into life right now. We got the Seven of Candles, which is also known as your Wands. And so, this card can typically represent, taking a stand. You're facing some challenges in your life. You're defending who you are, defending your beliefs, and you're persistent about what to do with those. Let's see if I can move this back and show you guys the card a little bit better. So I'm not sure if this is working or not, but we will figure out. If you guys like this, we'll figure out a better way. Our candle is still burning bright, by the way, as well. I don't know if you guys can see that. But again, like I said, you're taking a stand for what you believe in, and you kind of got to know when to take the higher road or know when to play, quote unquote, dirty. You want to see the bigger picture of things, but you also want to make sure that what you're standing up for, you know what it means and you know the consequences of that. And you want to make sure that you are alert and prepared for anything that may come your way. Whether this is dealing with a role change in your personal life, for those who may or may not be going through, let's say, a breakup, or you are stepping into that new management position at your job, or you are just having some type of issue with somebody and you guys are not on the same page. Take that time, think about it. This card is kind of a way of saying, hey, you are you do what you do, and we're going to move forward. Now that we have gone and we have read and we have taken that time to breathe and we have taken that time to feel out how the card feels, at this point, if my candle is still lit, then we will close out and blow the candle out. If my candle has already gone out on its own, then I will thank and close out. And so my favorite thing to do when closing out any type of ritual, not just cards, is you want to thank everyone who have made themselves come forward, who have made themselves come known to me for the elements. And I thank you and I release you from this space, and thank you for all you do. And so I did blow out my candle, and that's kind of a mini thing of what I do for ritual or for tarot when time allows. Um, go and move that up some so that way you guys can see my face. Bedroom. And that's kind of what I do with time allows. Now, sometimes I don't have the time to go all out and to light a candle and have a ritual, things like that. Sometimes it's just shuffling the cards, pulling that first card on the deck, taking a second, being like, ooh, I feel X, Y, and Z. Read our little guidebook, make sure that we are understanding things correctly, of what we're feeling, and then move on with the day. And then throughout the day, you think of that card, and kind of go from there, depending how you do your tarot, whether you're doing once a week or you do quote unquote quarterly or you do one a day. All those things are kind of different. But I'm really hoping that this video comes out and worked better in my head than I thought. I was super nervous for doing this and kind of telling you guys part of a non-traditional type stuff. And yeah, I'm super excited. Let me know what you guys think. And if you like this, I will continue to try to do these. I am going to continue to try to get videos out at least weekly, every other week, pending life. But yeah, I'm so excited to start kind of getting into some more of the dirty, gritty stuff, and not just talking at you guys for a half hour all the time. I'm also trying to still look into getting somebody to come on with me, so that way you bounce ideas off other people and you kind of hear from other people in the practice as well. With anybody in this practice, you're always constantly looking for knowledge. So I want to try to give you guys that resource, because I know for me it has been hard to find those types of resources. There is some great things out there, but a lot of things are also they cost money, and it can be expensive, and not feasible. So again, trying to stick with that which kind of budget theme here. So hopefully I can answer some of those beginner questions that you have that I had and didn't have no one to turn to, or I can make you think of something that you tried to look into, didn't have no interest. Here it is 15 years later, and you're like, hey, that sounds kind of interesting. Let me restart my path looking into that. Because if this is a path that you choose to do long term, it never ends. You're always constantly learning something new. You're always growing, and you're kind of seeing how the waves and the flows go over the years. So yeah. Okay. You guys know where to find me. I'm most active on Instagram at snightmare22. I have a Twitter account, which is also snightmare22, and I mainly post on there when new episodes are going to post or drop. If you're interested, you can become part of the Discord page, which is the Pumpkin Patch. And that is where I am trying to grow a free community, where we can all talk and BS about anything and everything. I also used to stream games on Twitch, so that's Sally Nightmare 22. I still do actively play games, and so some of my gaming community is present on the Discord. So we'll have separate sections for gaming only, witchy stuff only, combination of everything, and kind of go from there. And so, yeah, I'll post all that in the link below. And thank you so much for sticking around and watching me today. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.